Absolutely. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely. Say it again, y'all. Look out. What is it good for? Absolutely.
No.
Listen to me.
Welcome back to the Derek J. Show this May 1st, 2014. Starting off with a little Edwin Starr, War. A classic. And a great reminder.
What is it good for? Absolutely. Say it again.
So the news today is that a military sound weapon called the LRAD is trickling its way into domestic agencies across the country. Its latest application will be for use against drivers on Missouri's highways. The Missouri Department of Transportation, or MoDOT, has purchased 2 long-range acoustic devices, or LRADs, with the intent of deploying them near work zones. The idea is to penetrate nearby vehicles with an overwhelmingly shrill sound, supposedly to get them to slow down. It's called a safety device by the local media. But the LRAD is most famous for use against civilians overseas during military operations. Its 153 decibel sound waves are so powerful they can cause bystanders to reel in pain, clutch their ears, run away, and even could cause permanent hearing damage. For those who aren't familiar, here's a clip from when the long-range acoustic device was used against protesters at the G20 summit in Pittsburgh. Here's just an example of what this device can do when used by the police against the people. So the sound cannon goes off, and the people clutch their ears and disperse like frightened children. And there, standing behind the LRAD, is an army of stormtroopers in black military gear with riot shields and batons, trooper helmets, and Bearcat tanks rolling through the streets of America. You'd think this is a scene out of a dystopic movie, but no. This is real life, and here's exactly what the news is reporting on in Missouri.
MoDOT is unveiling a new attention-grabbing way to get drivers to slow down. You want to plug your ears. It's called the LRAD. It's a long-range acoustic device that blares a loud siren, like you just heard, with a verbal warning to drivers about slowing their vehicles down. MoDOT has bought 2 of the devices to get drivers to slow down in work zones. The loud sound can penetrate even a well-insulated vehicle with the radio on, delivering an urgent message to those who have not moved out of a work zone lane to get over immediately.
Oh, seems innocent enough. They're just going to notify drivers that, hey, they're in the wrong lane and they need to move over. And sometimes you have to get a message through to someone who's got the radio on. And maybe you want to pierce their ears and cause permanent hearing damage. Well, this would be the device for you. Carl Grenler, former vice president of American Technology Corporation, which later became the LRAD Corporation, said that the device will produce instant headaches, permanent hearing damage, and that you definitely don't want to be within 100 meters of the device. Of course, that was said in 2004, before the company began marketing its weapons to domestic government agencies. Since then, the LRAD was being delivered to local law enforcement agencies throughout the USA, many through federal grants aimed at militarizing police. By 2009, the LRAD was dramatically used for the first time against Americans when police mounted it onto their armored vehicles and used it to disperse unwelcome protesters in Pittsburgh during the G20 summit. MoDOT employee Michelle Compton elaborates, quote, "The sound easily penetrates the windshield and well-insulated cab of a car, even overriding the vehicle's engine sounds and a radio turned up loud enough to jam to tunes at highway speeds." It's unclear if this method may have had unintended consequences, such as frightening drivers and impairing their driving abilities. Guess we'll find out. The reason we're seeing more LRAD purchases does not appear to be done out of actual necessity. Car accidents inside construction zones are already rare, and fatalities are minimal. According to the Federal Highway Administration, accidents in work zones make up only 1.6% of the total number of vehicular crashes. In a study of 5 states, the majority of work zone crashes led to property damage only, and less than 1% of work zone crashes were fatal. So, is spending taxpayer money on more LRADs actually warranted? Or are these expensive gadgets being ordered all over the country because LRAD Corporation is skillful at lobbying politicians, convincing them to order more of their expensive gadgets, and in turn militarizing agencies across the country with unneeded equipment? With the recent conclusion of tax season, how do taxpayers feel about their hard-earned money being spent on sound cannons? Well, sound cannons for domestic use, not against rioters, not even actual criminals, against motorists for traveling through construction zones. Well, this is a weapon that was used against enemy combatants in foreign lands, and today is being used against you. So let's see if this trend continues. Are more weapons that were once designed to be used for scary bad guys far, far away soon to be turned on you? We will find out at the end of this year.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely. Say it again, y'all. Look out. What is it good for? Absolutely. Now listen to me. I despise. 'Cause it means destruction of this life. One means 10, 10,000 of others alive when they're struggle to fight and lose their lives. I said, war. Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Now get said again.